Hey guys, it's Carl Allen. Got another awesome book review for you today, and it came out of my Baltimore box. As you know, all my stuff was shipped back from Baltimore to the UK last week, and there was some amazing goodies, some amazing things in there like clothes and tombstones and pictures and all amazing things that I'm now so glad to get back after 5 months being stuck in the UK. And there's a lot of really good books over there that I haven't actually reviewed for you yet. And one of them, which is probably again in my top 10, is Good to Great, the Jim Collins book. Now, this is a classic. This book was published in 2001, and it's an awesome book, and it kind of tells the story about why good companies become truly, truly great companies. And it plays a lot to what my good friend Michael Gerber talks about in the E-Myth. He talks about the failure rate, that 96% of all businesses fail that start up, 50% fail in the first year. And what is it that really separates that kind of 4% that survive from the 96% that don't? And Jim Collins has a great kind of way of distilling that and putting a lot of great corporate strategies into that. My favorite out of this book is called the hedgehog concept, the hedgehog strategy, where he talks about what is the one thing that your business needs to do to grow and scale and become super successful. As entrepreneurs and as business owners, there might be 10 things that we think we can do, or 50 things, or 100 things that we think we should be doing to grow our business. But ultimately, it's all going to boil down to what is the one big, super important thing that if we do it, it's going to kind of raise all boats. It's going to raise the tide, and it's going to facilitate a lot of the other things starting to happen automatically. The other reason why I love this book is the title, Good to Great. And it kind of reminds me about the types of businesses that we buy through leverage buyouts. So clearly that there are three types of businesses for me. There are bad businesses, there are good businesses, and there are great businesses. I don't buy bad businesses, and I don't buy great businesses either. Let me explain. So a bad business is a business that you can buy for $1. We call that a distress deal. This is going to be a business that is really struggling. They might be in some legal trouble. They've run out of cash. They could be in bankruptcy or administration. And to really make a success of that deal, you've got to get in there, take over someone else's job, someone else's brain damage, and someone else's hassle, and really kind of dig yourself out of a very big, very fiery pit in the ground. So I can't be bothered doing any of those types of deals. On the other side of the spectrum is you've got great deals. So the best small businesses in the world, they've got the best margins, they're growing rapidly, they've got the best products and services, the best customers. They've got everything that is just the best and is perfect. Now, when we talk about only 1 in 11 businesses selling over the next 12 months, the great business, that's the 1 in 11. That's the business that everybody wants to buy. And it reminds me of an amazing e-learning business that Adam and I tried to buy through Prox Capital. Phenomenal business. It was a multi seven-figure business, had crazy margins, like 40% profit margins, and it was sold for an 8 times multiple to a trade buyer who paid virtually all the money down at closing. So 8 figures plus of cash going into the deal and going into the seller at closing. And obviously, we couldn't compete with that. And that's why you should never really try and attempt to buy great businesses unless you've got very deep pockets or you're backed with tons and tons and tons of financing and investment. So the key really is buy a good business. A good business, that's the business that's in the kind of 10 out of 11 that's probably not going to sell in the next 12 months. So it might be flat revenues. It might be growing just a little bit, 2-5% per year. The margins might not be super strong. Might be only 5%, 10%, 15%. And there might not be a lot of kind of proprietary nature about how they do business. They might not do any marketing. There might not be really kind of world-class systems and processes or management in that business, but it's still a fundamentally good business. What you can do is buy it and then turn it into a great business. The business that's going to be the 1 in 11 that's going to sell for a crazy multiple where you're going to get virtually all of the cash down at closing. And this book tells you how to take a good business and build it into a great business. A little bit like the E-Myth, phenomenal book. It is a classic. 2001, 19 years ago, I first read this book. I've probably read it 4 or 5 times. It's a phenomenal book, and I actually might read it again through my upcoming 75 Hard Challenge. So definitely read the book. You can click it below, buy it on Amazon. It's a really, really good book, and I will see you guys soon for the next book review. Until then, my friends, bye for now.